know we can do better than that. Let's give it a round. Thanks to God, congratulations. You met two gentlemen that really work hard. If they was to stand here, I was trying to tell you the things that I know about them, that I've had the pleasure to even work with them on, we'd be here all day. And that's not what we're here for. We're here today, though, to take advantage of some things that we may not even be aware of. And in order to do that, you have to hold yourself accountable. You know, I hear so often in my travels, well, we elected them, we have to hold them accountable. And I often say to the people that say that to me, hold them accountable for what? Did you give them anything that you want them to do? Or you just elected them and walked away? And you thought that they was a scientist that understood all your needs and was going to deliver all of them. Well, they are not that. I got news for you. So there's have to be someone working with them, handing them things to do, asking them to do different things, and they have to respond. And these gentlemen have been totally responsible to the group that I know that have asked. So you have got to come up now and start asking for something. You got to come up and be held accountable for what they have accomplished. Okay, because they accomplished for you. They cannot take advantage of them. They are not minority firms in reality. I mean, Bill is working with one for the time being, but yeah, I'm looking really to be able to work with him from the mayor's office. Okay, he deserves to be there. So you are the ones that have to take it to the next level. If you don't take advantage of these opportunities that have been created, the next thing that we will know is that they will be saying across the country, New York tried it, they didn't take advantage of it. They don't need any more. So we'll give them pittance. We won't give them a lot. So if you are responsible, and I'm going to hold you accountable to please take what you learned here today and use it. Use it and let's grow. If I can be helpful, if Regina can be helpful, we can get you to any of these elected officials or people sitting in these authorities to get what you need. We're happy to do that. But you have to take advantage. You have to bring it to them. And with all this work that we do, we couldn't do it without a board. And I see one of our board members here, Mr. Maurice Gray, you know, and thank you for all the support. You know, stand up, Maurice, so that people know who you are. We thank you for reaching out here. I work for you. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Regina Smith. She'll run the program. And please, please take advantage of what we have here to offer today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to follow up on one point that Mr. Thompson made about certification being a route to a lot of these opportunities that the governor is making available to you. We at the Harlem Business Alliance have one of the best certification specialists that you can possibly work with. So as you pull together your certification application, it's an onerous process. The application is long. The documentation needs are incredible, but our specialists will work with you to pull together your financials. We will direct you to someone who can help you to pull together your tax returns and walk you through the process so that you can actually complete the application and get certified within record time. As long as you're willing to do the work, we will help you to get your application certified. Then after that, we will work with these agencies to see to it that you have access to contracting opportunities. So I just wanted to advise you of that. Now I would like to introduce you to our guest speaker, Gene Waddy, who owns the largest African-American owned IT staffing and solutions firm in the country. This young man is very impressive. I met him in the spring, I think it was May or so, and he expressed an interest in sharing his experiences with you, networking with you, and helping however he possibly can. Mr. Waddy.
company, staffing solutions company. Although I am based out of New Jersey, don't hold that against me. Actually, my roots are here in New York. My father was raised a couple of blocks from here on Lenox Avenue in West 117th Street. And my mother also is from the Harlem community. So it's like coming home every time I get to come home to work with Regina and speak to people at the HBA. So thank you, Chairman Edwards and Regina, for all you do for the community. I had the pleasure of being in Washington last week as well with the Congressional Black Caucus events. And I spent some time with Congressman Rangel, who sends his regards. And he's definitely a supporter of the things we're doing here at the HBA. So I'm here to talk to you about taking your business to the next level. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I'm also going to find out a little bit about you. So as we move forward, just put it out there. How many of you are business owners? Show of hands. All right. So how many of you are looking or thinking about starting a business? Okay, so you're definitely going to get some tips here from a brother who's made more than his share of mistakes, but kept on climbing that mountain. And today, Diversant is a $100 million company, and I'm the owner. So, with confidence and faith and hard work, you can do just about anything. Nobody can stop you except you. We're going to talk about like 10 quick tips I want to give you that I learned the hard way that you can utilize to grow your business, and also be a force for good in the community. Because it's not all about just taking all the money and stuff in your pocket and then moving to the Hamptons. That's not we're better than that. So one of the mantras we have at Diversant is to lift as you climb. That means as we go up the ladder, I'm trying to throw a net behind me and scoop up as many people and bring them up there with me because it's needed. It is needed. I am tired, and I'm really tired, of being the only black face at the table when we're talking to Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, all the names you know, all those banks that got bailed out, that's your money that bailed them out. So you would think that there'd be a great emphasis on giving back and opening up some of those contract opportunities that Brother Thompson spoke about to members of our community. And we're going to continue to work on that because that is also important. So I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit, just quickly, my story. I've been in IT solutions about 17 years. Worked for large multinational companies. I was just a small fish in a big pond. But there's a plan out here for all of us. We don't always know what that plan is, but it's out there. It's already been written. You may not know it, but it has. And I was sailing along in my career, mid-management, like my father always told me, just work that job, boy, and just work it until they throw you out. Don't leave, don't move, they got good benefits, stay on that job. But that was his generation, right? But there's a certain thing in life called divine inspiration. And I got downsized in 2005, and I was hurt. I was like, wait a minute, I'm an up-and-coming executive. I could be downsized. But that was the best thing that ever happened. I got downsized, and I was forced to think for myself and think about what I could do for me and my children. I got bit, what I like to call a why not bug. The why not bug is when you see something, you see like someone on TV that's got a house and a car and they're sending their kids to top schools and all these things, and you start to say, why not? Why not? Why can't we not meet? Why can't we have it? Right? But before you can have that, you got to have the right mindset. The first thing you got to do, my number one point, is to conquer fear. What keeps us down, in some cases, keeps us from going where we should be, is fear. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of the embarrassment that might come with that failure. There will be people, and I know y'all know folks like this. You started your business, instead of them saying, go ahead, you can do it, they said, shoot, they don't let you start your business. No, that's not for you. No, ain't nobody gonna loan you no money. We all know people like that, right? In our families, in our churches, folks you around the corner hanging out with, you grew up with. The first thing you gotta do is conquer fear. Envision what you want your life to be. And that could be anything. You want to be a missionary, travel the world. You want to open up a business right here on 125th Street, you gotta envision it first. You gotta believe it before you do it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, surround yourself with positive, like-minded people. Surround yourself with people that are doing what you're doing, or what you would like to do. Successful people. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily rich. Doesn't mean that. But they're able to offer you some encouragement or mentorship that can show you the way and help you avoid some of the pitfalls of when you start your business. So that's the first thing. Fear, mentorship. Those are two very important pieces of that. But the third one is competency. You want to go into business, you have to know how to do something that somebody's willing to pay you for. And I know that sounds simple, but there are many people out there say, I want to go into business. What do you want to do? I'm going into business. That's not the right answer. Right? You got to pick what you do well, and then become better than well. Become really, really good at it. Because then folks will do what? Pay you for your services. I only know how to do one thing well, and that's IT staff. And that's it. It ain't the sexiest thing in the world, but I built it up to a $100 million enterprise. Right? If what you do well is landscaping, be the best landscaper out. And don't let anybody tell you that there's no such thing as good work. Right? There are people that clean uniforms for a living. $1 billion company. Pick what it is you do well, stick to it, build your competency, right? And number 4 is network. Network, and network some more. If you're a business owner and you sitting home at the kitchen table 5 nights a week, that ain't gonna get it done. That's not gonna get it done. You can survive doing the 9 to 5 thing, but you get rich after 6 o'clock. That's where the networking takes place. Whether that's at, could be on the local political clubhouse, it could be whatever, but you gotta get out there and find out where those business opportunities are. That Brother Thompson spoke about. We're gonna get into that certifications in a minute, because I have some issues with the whole certification boondoggle, and I will call it that. But we'll get to that in a second. So networking. I've already networked with some brothers out here and sisters, and I'm gonna do more of that until they turn the lights out, because I believe that's important. That's how you get your best ideas. Maybe some brothers are talking about some opportunities and what we do, and that's a person that's got some experience. We're gonna talk more. And maybe I might be somewhere in a business meeting and somebody might say, we need somebody that does A, B, C, and maybe I do that. But I don't do B and C. Hopefully, I'll remember it. And I'll call and say, listen, we heard about this opportunity. Let's go into this meeting together. I know the person that owns that contract. Maybe I can introduce you. That's how the blessings come back to you. You do things like that. I know I said blessing, hope I didn't offend anybody. But that's how it comes back to you. And I believe this. I really do. That's how it comes back. Thinking about other people. In our community for too long, we don't know how to partner. I almost think we've been conditioned to not partner with one another. And I've seen it. We got a multi-million-dollar contract. One guy got the relationship, but he don't want nobody else in it, because God forbid somebody get 5 cents more on the deal than he did. Boy, that's not a good deal. And we end up with what? Nothing. Nothing. Look at the other communities. They network deep. 5, 6 levels deep. Go to the federal level and see some network and see some partner. They got so many folks on those big multi-billion-dollar contracts, it would make your head spin. If you go down to Washington, D.C., and you see Northrop Grumman and Bechtel, this Accenture, they got teams of lobbyists that don't do anything all day but move their interests forward, and they build these big consortiums. Right? Now, more often than not, we're not part of the consortium, but some of that is our own, because we have talked ourselves out of it. Before anybody even told us no, we told ourselves no, so we're just not going to move forward. Right? It's part of that positive mindset. But there's a lot of work to be done, right? You want to be sincere and strong entrepreneur. You have to decide what kind you want to be, because there's more than one type of entrepreneur, right? The first type is a lifestyle business entrepreneur. lifestyle business entrepreneur basically wants to make enough money, pay the mortgage, put the kids in school. They're not looking necessarily to blow the dream out to $1 billion company. They're looking for more of a modest definition of success, lifestyle. Nothing wrong with a lifestyle business. Nothing wrong with it. But usually lifestyle businesses are really dependent on the person who founded the company. And a lot of times it's based on their personality and their strength and their networks. But what happens with a lot of lifestyle businesses, they don't go to the next generation sometimes, right? Because if you're the founder and you got the best, I'll say dry cleaner in Harlem, but you don't have a management team around you, and your kids got used to the money, they're not really, oh, Dad, I don't want to be a dry cleaner, I don't want to do this, right? But they're happy with the lifestyle. And then what happens, the founder gets sick, right? And the whole business falls apart. That's part of the problem. We don't know how to bequeath that wealth to the next generation. We don't believe in succession plan. Succession plan. For those who don't know what that is, if the good Lord takes you home today, is your business going to survive? And it's a plan. It's not a, well, so always had a good affinity with numbers, so she'll run the business. That's not the way it works. There's legalities involved. There's contracts involved. Tax implications. It's not easy being an entrepreneur. You got to think about all these things all day long. And all night long, in some cases, when it gets really big. Succession planning. That allows us to say, if I pass away, my son, my associate, somebody is going to be the shepherd of these assets to ensure that it transcends the wealth. Transcends, not the money, the wealth. There's a difference between rich and wealthy. Wealthy people get paid regardless of what happens in the account, because they have what they call assets, you see, that appreciate and they live off of the cash flow of those assets, whether it's precious metals, real estate, those types of things. That's wealthy. Rich is somebody that's got a lot of money in the bank, but that's it, they can go get it and that's wonderful, but it's not working for them. So there is a difference. We spoke a little bit about succession planning, and you're thinking about those things, you got to think about accounting and law and all these things. So the seventh tenet I would give you is to surround yourself with competent people. In other words, if you're a good CEO or owner, business owner, you should know what it is you don't know. Gone are the days when you had to figure it all out. Those days are long gone. You can do that if you had a small candy store uptown, that was just you, that was your thing. But if you're trying to expand and get some of that $130 billion contract that Brother Thompson was speaking about, there's a level of sophistication, I'm here to tell you, that you gotta have. And Regina will show you the stack of papers you gotta fill out for that certification process, which I got a real issue with. Look into that. Because to me, no, what I'm gonna get into now. What that does is actually, this is my humble opinion, a way to weed folks out of the process. Because it takes too long. And it's difficult. It's reams of paper this thick. And you look at this and you go, I'm trying to run my business. I don't have time to spend a quarter putting this thing together. And then when I send it to the state, I guarantee it's not going to go through the first time. I don't care what you heard. There's going to be a problem. And then you got to deal with the backlog. You're not the only person in the state of New York that wants to be certified. So that's another process. And meanwhile, you get a little discouraged, and then you kind of, the dream may falter a little bit. Now, I don't think that's deliberate. I don't want to say it's a conspiracy theory, but it's a reality. It's a reality. I have a back office. I had 10 people in my back office, and when I went and got certified, it was difficult. It got to the point they did not believe that I was black because I couldn't prove it. This is the Diversant. I was born in the Bronx. The Mystery Accordion Hospital is no longer there. But back then, the birth certificate, I feel like Obama now, birth certificate. The birth certificate did not have my race on it. So I sent it to the state. They're like, well, it doesn't prove that you're black. So I said, well, I said, let me, I had my, scanned my driver's license, sent it to them. Too dark. They couldn't tell, they couldn't, because my thirsty brother, but they couldn't see my facial features. And this went on. And I said, listen, I'll do they didn't really, they were like, okay, maybe we'll come with a little solution, and we got it done. But this is just an example. If you're usually discovered, these are the kind of things that'll make you crazy. And you'll say, oh, I'll just do what I've always done. So that brings me to my next tenet, and that's faith. That's faith. So once again, disclaimer, I don't offend anybody by talking about faith, but I'm a tenet. Entrepreneurship is hard. Working for yourself is hard because if you're not successful, you can starve to death. Right? People are dependent on you for that paycheck. The community is dependent on you. People are looking up to y'all. Say, I want to do that. As opposed to this negativity over here. But that's a big burden to carry. That's a tough burden to carry. When I started my business, 2005, I had every dime I had on the line. Credit cards maxed out, and I think Citigroup called me every day. I owed them some money. I got my little capital together, had my little severance pay and whatever. And we talked about believing in yourself and going out there. It takes a lot to take every dime you got and put it on the table and say, I'm gonna start a business. And you get tested. So when I got out there in 2005, the recession hadn't hit me, right? So things were moving along. And my wife was looking at me kind of sideways, like, you sure you want to do this? Because it wasn't, I didn't have the 7 Series then. I had an old used Visa card that I had for a long time. But so it was great now, but it wasn't always there. So when that recession hit, we were running, I started our first year, maybe $300,000 total revenue. And I'm thinking, maybe I made a mistake, but I stayed with it. Second year, 100, 1.2, and then 3.3, and it started to grow. Got it up to about 5 million, and then we did a merger with another company, and so this thing is starting to roll. But then the recession hit, and a lot of my clients are banks, insurance companies, and all that. So when they stopped spending, it was a hard stop. And that's when faith came in, because at that point, it wasn't so much fun anymore to be an entrepreneur. I had to do some drastic things that kept me awake at night. I was so worried. I was worried sick. I had to lay off people who I love. My employees are part of my family. I trust them. And I had to lay some people off with kids, sick kids. Broke my heart. Right? 10% pay cut across the board, including myself, everybody, to survive, to fight another day. But late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and all your entrepreneurs have been here, when you get up, and you take one step out of that bed, you can't go back to sleep. Because you'll work. You got all these things running around in your head. Right? And you ask yourself, why am I doing this to myself? Why didn't I just stay with so-and-so and continue working in corporate America? But it's my faith that kept me going. That's all I had. I couldn't even talk to my wife about it. She was so mad, I didn't think she was going to talk to me ever again. Because it looked like a bad move. But I'm serious about it. When the rough seas hit, you gotta have something to call. And that, whatever that higher power might be, you don't have to get that specific. But you gotta believe in something bigger than yourself. Because if not, when it gets really, really, really thick, you might just fold up. So I stuck with it. 10 million, 20, now we're up to $100,000. $100 million. $100 million. Now my phone is ringing, and the press wants to talk to me, and I'm meeting with Congressman Rangel and Maxine Waters and all that, and life is great. That's just wonderful. But the reason I'm here today is to come back and do some more of that lifting I talked y'all about. The lift as you climb, right? Because I know, and I believe this to my heart, if I could do this, anybody can do it. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Period. My father was a window cleaner in Harlem. My mother was like a seamstress. Walked these same streets that I'm walking on today, and I was very proud of it. Right? So I'm here on their behalf to say that it's possible if you believe in it and you're going to work hard at it, build up that confidence, have faith, and take care of yourself. Because stress is a killer, especially in our community. This is important. Take care of your health. Talk about succession planning. I actually know brothers and sisters that in the 40s and early 50s dropped dead, pushing that business, working for that next dollar, not getting enough sleep, drinking too much coffee, right? Running around because they're crazy with just trying to get that success. They want it so bad. But you gotta take care of yourself. Because if you're not here, game over. And all the people that were looking up to you, you're gone now. You know, that's important. You know, get to the now at this level of the game, I have to go every year to get called executive exam, top to bottom. They have this thing called key man insurance, where if I drop dead, my partners get paid. That's how you know you're getting this time. You start to climb a little bit. You know, you start wondering. You know, somebody wishing for me to die. But these are all just little tidbits. You know, getting yourself a mentor is also important. Mentorship is important. I have 11 older brothers that when they came through, they couldn't go to the bank. They had to get money from people they knew in the neighborhood. Sometimes that source wasn't always the best. My old wife, her father had a string of bars in Newark in the 70s and 80s. And he had to do it the way he knew how to do it. He didn't go to business school. He had to do it cash business. It was all about him, based on who he knew and his position in the community, and it was great. But it didn't translate over to the next generation. So entrepreneurship, as it was defined back in those days, is a little different now. There are certain doors that have been open to us just because we were born at this particular time. But that does not mean that all doors are open to you. But that would be a lie if I sort of told you. At a $100 million company, I still face discrimination. I have 600 consultants working for me all around the country. And a lot of them are from other countries. Some are from India, China, and I still get the look. Who here know what the look is? You know what the look is? You know what the look is? These are the cats who can barely speak English. They go, "You really the CEO?" No, I'm not the CEO. I'm just showing up just because I want to pretend to be CEO. Like, no, I'm the owner. Get used to it. Look, check it. Look at your check. I'm gonna sign my name next to it and see if they match. That's the look, but that's something that you would never think that would be something you have to deal with. But you do. How about this one? You don't look like the CEO. Really? But and sometimes these people are not necessarily stone cold racists. They just don't know. They're honest to God. They don't see anything wrong with that. You know? I mean, so these are the types of things that will make an entrepreneur feel like this is just not gonna work out. I gotta do something else. But I don't want to run long on my time, y'all. But you know, this is my second and third opportunity to speak with the HBA. Last time I was sitting over there with Sylvia's. I think some of you might have been at that. The last one had a great session talking about similar issues. And I will say this: Regina has my contacts, and I'm really serious about that mentorship thing. Now I only know IT. That's all I know. But the basic tenets of business are pretty much the same, regardless of the area of expertise. So what I'd like to offer is, you go on our website, which is www.diversant, that's diversant.com. And my information is on there. I've got business cards. Regina also has my contact information. And if she knows it, then I'll tell them the truth. If you call me, I will call you back. And we're gonna talk. For those of you that are thinking about doing it, I'm gonna tell you like it is. People ask me all the time, and this is true, if you had to do it all over again, would you? You know what the answer is? No. And I know that's not what you expect. But listen to the logic. The reason is no, because I had no idea how hard this was going to be. I had no idea. I have 2 young children, which I don't see. I have a lovely wife, my college sweetheart, which I see on weekends, if I'm lucky. I'm traveling, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's at 6 o'clock plane to somewhere. Dead of winter, so When the CIO of Wells Fargo calls you and says, you want to get this contract, you better get your butt here tomorrow at 6. You get there. You know what? Recital, I miss it. Breaks my heart. It hurts me. But I tell you, it's worth it though. Because then when you can do things like this, and money starts coming and people looking up to you and you actually doing good, it's worth it. It's worth it. So don't give up. Don't let anybody, don't let your family members, don't let your friends who are doing the same thing today, if they were doing 25 years ago, stop. Don't let them stop. Listen to people who are successful. Emulate them. Your cousin, whoever, so-and-so, they ain't done nothing in 30 years, don't listen to them. Because there's a reason why they are where they are today. And trust them, but they wait on us. They will call you for a loan. When you got it rolling, and you got yourself together, and your suit is looking good, and you got your car tight, and everything is, you're traveling with your sweetheart or whatever, they will call you. Right? And it's not that you won't help people, because you want to do that. That's important. You got to pay that forward. You do have to help, whether it's your family, community members. You have to do that, because you're not in this alone. But be prepared. There's going to be plenty of people. I told you, it'll never happen. Never. They don't loan money to us. That's not true, actually. What I had to figure out, talk about that fear thing early on, is that when you talk about finance, capital, access to capital, banks and investors make money by doing what? Loaning new money. They want to do it. Now, are there hoops you got to jump through? Absolutely. Are our hoops a little bit different in some cases? Yes. Yes. But I'm here to tell you, I've seen, I have a good friend of mine, Harold Mills, a good brother, who owns a company called Zero Chaos. Zero Chaos was $1 billion, almost $1 billion payroll company. And this is one of my mentors. He told me that. He said, look, we have to get out of that mindset of the bank is the end. Because the way a lot of us were raised, the bank was the end. The bank called you, and you didn't feel like being called. You didn't want to get a call from the bank. But you know what, y'all? Relationships, talk about relationships. That's how banking gets done. I have business partners of mine that got credit so bad, you wouldn't believe, but they got a good business plan and an idea and relationships with somebody in that bank that can do this. Ain't nothing but a click of a button on the computer screen. Somebody makes that decision. The computers weigh the pros and the cons. But there's somebody in that bank that can make that decision for you. Maybe you don't belong in a traditional bank. Maybe you should go to a funding company, private funding company. These are things that we need to talk about in our community. These are avenues that for a long time, I thought it too. You just walked up into the bank and said, this is it, I want a loan. And they look at you and they turn you down and then you're mad because you don't understand. There's a process. There's a process, but it happens every day. How do you think somebody like Donald Trump, who was born rich, bankrupt more times than you can write a book about it? Right? But that would happen with us. Why? Because we're afraid. I don't want, if my business fails, I'm going to be embarrassed. And I go to church on Sunday, someone's going to be talking about me, saying, I knew it. I told them, shouldn't have left the post office. I shouldn't have said post office. I feel comfortable with my people, and I talk the way I want to. When I'm at board meetings, it takes what it takes. I can't talk this. Right? So it's cathartic. It makes me feel good, to be with my folks and talking about what's really going on. I don't want to go too long because I apologize. I'm probably a little bit over, but I want to share the good news. That's all. I want to share the good news. You know, when I was down at that Congressional Black Caucus, and my president, I said my president.
My president.
Man, what a sensation. You know, and Michelle was with him. Yes. Oh yeah, on the stage, tall, regal system. And I said, man, that's my president. Man, I'm in D.C. and I feel like I belong here. This is my D.C. This is my capital. I've never felt that way before. You know, I've never felt that way before. So while he was talking and he said, well, those of you out there that are discouraged and upset, I'm discouraged and upset too. I know I made a lot of promises. He said, well, I did not promise you, and this is germane to what we're talking about. I did not promise you easy. I didn't promise you easy. Don't say I did, because I didn't. Anything worth getting, y'all, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Being an entrepreneur was easy. This room will be overflowing. Right? 8 o'clock, what, 8:30 in the morning on Monday?
Huh?
And y'all on time, ready to get it going. That's the right stuff. That's how it gets done. Because your competitor, who's like, I was watching the game last night. I can't gonna make that. 8:30, that's what you want. That's exactly the kind of competition you want. Mm-hmm. Yep, snowing, too hard, can't make it. Good. Good. Because I'll get that contract. These are just little tidbits. Just little tidbits I've learned in 17 years as a professional and 7 years as a business owner. And I got a lot more. But I'll be here all day if I didn't shut up at some point. But I've enjoyed it though. I've enjoyed it. And please get on that website. I'm gonna get out every card I got. And on that card is my cell number. There's a reason my cell number is on. Call. And I'll help you any way I can. I got a lot of contacts in the banking community. We can find some avenues, or maybe we can do some partnering and whatnot. But please, thank you for the time. I appreciate it.